How many of you have had your throat slit with a knife before? Well, a scalpel. They're basically the same thing, though. According to Mary Schulman, author of Living Well with Autoimmune Disease, about 20 million people have autoimmune disease. Of that 20 million, over 13 million are not diagnosed. American College of Surgeons reported that in 2011, 72,344 thyroidectomies were performed in the United States. Today I want to share with you about how my thyroidectomy changed my life, gave me a chance to live normally, and taught me to fight for my dreams. In 2011, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease. Several months later, I was also diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which, described by the Health and Wellness magazine, Graves' and Hashimoto's disease are both autoimmune disorders. Graves' disease, also known as hyperthyroidism, has symptoms such as anxiety, weight loss, difficulty sleeping, sensitivity to heat, and rapid heartbeat. Hashimoto's, or hypothyroidism, is the exact opposite, with symptoms such as fatigue, weight gain, sensitivity to cold, and a slow heartbeat. Because Graves' disease is far more dangerous than Hashimoto's, my doctor decided to treat the Graves' disease. Some days I'd lie awake all night, feel hyper, and eat the house down. Other days I'd want to sleep all day and barely touch a bite of food. My doctors hoped my thyroid would straighten out on its own, but when two massive lesions begin to grow rapidly, they spring into action, trying to find a surgeon willing to perform a surgery. It was 6 months before my primary doctor was able to find a surgeon willing to see me. I had expected to have a consultation, schedule a biopsy to be sure there was no lesions, and possibly, after a while, if things didn't improve, have it removed. I was not prepared for the surgeon to say, after simply looking at my neck ultrasounds, that he suspected thyroid cancer. There was no biopsy, no more testing. He said it needed to be removed very soon. That same day, I was scheduled for a complete removal of my thyroid, also called a thyroidectomy, 1 month later. I was crushed by the outcome of the surgery. My life had become a spiraling spell of sickness and pain. Since I was 7, I've dreamt of being a nurse. Now I swung back and forth between lying awake all night or sleeping all the time. With the fast-growing lesions and my swollen thyroid, I couldn't even lay down anymore without my airway being cut off. Desperate as I was to be well again, I didn't want to be dependent on thyroid replacement the rest of my life. There was also the major risks that go along with any surgery. The thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland located on the neck, wrapped around the windpipe, lying directly over the vocal cords and below the Adam's apple. So there was a major risk of my vocal cords being severely damaged, and I would never talk again. I was trapped, and I knew there was no way around the surgery. Many times I asked myself, will my life ever be normal again? Will this surgery be worth it? Cancer terrified me, but not as much as missing a part of me and possibly never talking again. Fast forward 2 months. The surgery had gone well, and I was deemed cancer-free. My heart no longer raced at 120 beats per minute. But now I was plagued with depression. I hated taking my thyroid hormone and could barely hold my head up. No longer was my throat swollen, but now I had a raspy voice that tired after just a few sentences of speaking. My dreams of ever being an energetic person again had long plummeted. Now my days consisted of sleeping or trying to eat, and wondering how I could have been so stupid as to remove my thyroid. Before that surgery, I'd felt bad, but nothing compared to this. On top of that, I hated my scar. It was big and ugly. Unless I wore a scarf, people stared or asked questions, so I did my best to keep it hidden. Finally, after months of not improving, my doctor decided I could take a larger strength of natural thyroid replacement pills. I began feeling like there was a reason to live after all. A few weeks later, I began taking physical therapy to help my neck and incision heal. I kept lotion on my scar and different oils recommended by my doctor. 8 months later, my life was 10 times better than it had been for years. My scarf went off, and I even had fun telling stories about how I ended up with the scar. Now 2 years later, I am more than recovered. I live a very happy, energetic life. My voice is still weak when it comes to singing, and I can't scream. There's still a noticeable scar on my neck. I'm proud of it, though. It tells a story of how I suffered and almost gave up, but in the end I fought and attained my dreams. Today I can answer my long-asked question without any hesitation. The thyroidectomy was more than worth it. I am following my dreams of becoming a nurse. I can sleep all night, lying as flat as I like. In conclusion, even though I went through my thyroidectomy terrified, this experience has made me a stronger person. I've learned that if I fight for my dreams, I can attain them. Maybe I have to take pills several times a day, but if that's the price I have to pay for a normal, healthy life, it's worth it. If you or a loved one has thyroid disease or thyroidectomy looming over your head, take heart. There is hope. Yes, for a while you might feel terrible, but in the end you will be a stronger, happier, healthier person. Thank you.